This is where it gets super interesting for zombie fans. All right, and welcome back, guys. And we just got a bunch of new news on what's going to be happening with Call of Duty in the future, what's going to happen with the whole PlayStation thing. Are the future games going to be on there? Modern Warfare 2 coming out later this year, the new Treyarch game coming out next year, and Warzone 2 also coming out next year. So we're going to go over all this new information as quick as possible. If you're new to my channel, what we do is we do a rapid style video where we get all the information you need to know, put it in a quick video form that we can watch this and get right back into game. On top of that, if you're new here and want to sub, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you're going to leave a like or a comment, that also massively helps me out, and I'm going to give you a huge thanks for that. With that, let's go ahead and go right into the article. Activision Blizzard Inc. will release at least the next 3 games in its hit video game franchise Call of Duty on Sony's. Okay, so essentially they're going to be releasing it on PlayStation. And these next 3, what they mean by that is the Modern Warfare 2 game coming out this year, the Treyarch game coming out next year. So yes, if you need your zombie fix, for sure, 100%, the next Treyarch Zombies game will be on PlayStation, and the Warzone 2 will also be on PlayStation. I have a feeling after this, even after these next 3 games come out, Call of Duty makes a lot of money, and PlayStation has the most Call of Duty players, especially the microtransactions. I have a feeling that Call of Duty from this point on will always be on PlayStation, but at least we have confirmation no matter what, the next 3 games will be coming. Then they proceed to talk about more stuff. That includes this year's Call of Duty expected to be a new entry in the popular Modern Warfare sub-series being developed by Infinity Ward. We already knew this. Modern Warfare 2, there's a ton of leaks about it, like, and it's like actual in-game art, all that stuff. So MW2 should be coming out, the sequel, not Modern Warfare 2, the game that came out in 2010. The sequel to Modern Warfare, which I know, confusing. Now there's 2 Modern Warfares, 2 Modern Warfare 2s. And the following game, which is in development by Treyarch, once again, not massive news. We pretty much after the Infinity Ward game, it only makes sense that Treyarch's coming after that. And this isn't, so this stuff is already pre-planned, but I know a lot of people are talking about that they're going to be spacing out Call of Duties, not releasing one every single year, but this is stuff that's already kind of set in stone going to happen. And if they do start making Call of Duty not releasing every single year, it's going to take place after this Treyarch game, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in the future. The deal also includes a planned new iteration of the Call of Duty Warzone, the lucrative free-to-play game that was released in 2020. So next year, pretty much confirmed, we are getting a Warzone 2. And more than likely, it's going to be on the Modern Warfare 2 engine, which that makes me think. I think this is going to be a completely new Warzone. So all the stuff, none of the integration from, you know, Vanguard, Cold War, the original Modern Warfare, it's not going to have a million weapons, which this is something that needed to happen. You can't just add 30 new weapons to Warzone every year. As you can see, with the current state of Warzone, adding all the integrations for the other CODs have eventually caused a lot of issues, and you can't just keep building upon this. So this is going to be kind of a fresh start for Warzone from what it seems like. And it's interesting. So Modern Warfare 2 is going to be coming out this year. And if they're making a new Warzone the next year after on that engine, I don't think that the Modern Warfare 2 weapons are going to be introduced to Warzone. They might, that this is just speculation on my part, but we might get Modern Warfare 2 this year and it has no Warzone integration until Warzone's officially launched on it the year following, which is probably going to be right around the same time that the original Warzone came out. So that's interesting. I really want to see what's going to happen with that. We only know everything that's in this so far. Phil Spencer, who also recently appointed Chief Executive Officer of Microsoft Gaming, said last week that he had spoken to Sony leadership. This is just them talking about how they're planning on keeping it on there as, you know, the next 3 games for sure, and potentially the more. And they talk about how Xbox and PC and how PlayStation got exclusive content. Plans are hazier for Call of Duty games farther out. So they're saying after these next 3 games that are confirmed, people familiar with the matter, Microsoft said that it expects the acquisition close to sometime in the next 6 to 18 months, after which they'll be able to decide whether to continue releasing future Call of Duty games on PlayStation. Top employees at Activision have also discussed spacing out Call of Duty releases rather than putting them out every single year, which is huge. I think a lot of people blame some of the issues happening with COD right now, the fact that they're releasing a Call of Duty every single year. But I don't know, me personally, I don't think the issues with COD have arisen from it coming out every year, because we look back at like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, which I'm not a huge fan of these games. Like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, at least the MP side of things, were definitely not my favorite games, but these games felt complete. I mean, it had leaderboards on launch. It had, you know, it had all the features that we love in COD. It had a mastery camo that worked on launch. It had Dark Ops. It had 100% calling cards. It had essentially all the features that these newer games don't have at launch and end up adding throughout the year, and eventually the game end up feeling like a complete game by the end of the year. These games used to be on COD, and this was back when COD was releasing every single year, and there wasn't even really Sledgehammer in the mix. It was essentially a new COD game every other year by the same developer, and these games back then had all the features that these newer games aren't having. So I really don't know if just making the games takes, like, spacing out the games even longer, are really gonna fix these issues. I think this is something where they just kind of need to restructure, and I don't know what's causing these issues, but it shouldn't be the fact that they're releasing every year, because it used to be perfectly fine with this. Something else has changed. But the one cool thing that the game's being spaced out, let's say the next Treyarch game that comes out, this is the year before they take a break. This is where it gets super interesting for zombie fans, because imagine if Vanguard didn't come out. If Black Ops Cold War was the last COD, and it's like, all right, a year from now, in 2023 is when the next Modern Warfare 2's game is going to come out. That would have meant that Cold War would have got a lot more support that following year. It definitely would have, because obviously as a company, they still want to make money, so they're still going to be adding bundles. And with that, hopefully they would be adding actual content updates and whatnot. And I genuinely think if Vanguard had not came out and there was no Call of Duty being released this year, that Cold War, Zombies, and MP would have got a lot more updates than what it's seeing now. Legitimately, we've gotten a handful of bundles since the release of Vanguard. And if Treyarch is the last game on this cycle, so we know for a fact next year we are getting another Treyarch game. But after that, that might be when the annual cycle breaks. So we might not be getting a game in 2024, which would be the perfect time for them to keep adding content. You know, maybe Chronicles 2, maybe in 2024. Obviously, that's super speculation. But if they're not releasing a COD game, if they're not releasing a COD game at all that year, that would probably be the single best time for Chronicles to come out. Like, honestly, think about it. And that to me is the most exciting thing about not having annual releases, is not, you know, games that are more finished being launched, because I don't think getting rid of the annual cycle is going to change anything. I think the games are going to still be just as finished as they are now. They're not going to be any more polished. But the fact that the game has more time to be polished after launch. Cold War could have still been receiving updates instead of just, you know, Cold War essentially being dropped and it's like, all right, Vanguard time, now we update Vanguard. So that to me is kind of big for zombie players, because the Treyarch would be a good year to end off on before taking a year break. But we'll have to see with time and all that. I'm honestly super excited about Warzone 2. I just never got into Warzone, but Warzone 2 is a fresh start. Obviously, hopefully we'll get FOV for consoles. That would be pretty big. And there might be a chance that it doesn't have any support for last-gen consoles. It might only be for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, which would be pretty big. I feel like a lot of the issues is the fact that Warzone works on all these different platforms. It's got all this integration. I don't know, and hopefully they innovate too. I'm really hoping it's not just, you know, a new Modern Warfare 2 Warzone with not a bunch of, like, innovations. I think it'd be really cool to see maybe a bigger player count, some more options there. But as always, obviously, as we get closer to that time, we'll be covering more and more news alongside that. And I want to ask, how do you guys feel if COD goes to an annual release? If they stop releasing a COD every single year and they start doing it, you know, every other year, or do you think that's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Or do you think at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything? Also, opinions on Warzone 2. I know we're mainly a zombie audience, and a lot of people watching this probably don't really care too much about Warzone. I know there are a few of you out there. Are you excited to be moving on to Warzone 2? Which this means all your previous bought bundles, all the cams you've unlocked, all this probably won't be existent anymore. This will be a new kind of connected franchise is probably what they'll do with it, which is kind of sad because I like all my camos. I like, you know, DM Ultra, both Dark Aethers, Atomic, Damascus. I like having all of those usable in one single place in Warzone. And moving to the new place, maybe they'll give some legacy rewards to the people who've unlocked all that stuff, but probably not. But that, I mean, that's just comes with the nature of Call of Duty. New Call of Duties comes out, and all the stuff you unlocked in the previous one slowly fades. But yeah. With that, guys, I think this is a perfect time to go ahead, wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content from me that's not just, you know, COD focused, we've got a secondary channel where we upload almost daily COD Mobile and Minecraft stuff. And then on the Facebook page, we have exclusive Facebook-only content. And I've been playing through God of War, and I have absolutely been loving it. So if you're a fan of the God of War series, you should definitely check it out. We've been having a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, hey there. Thank you for watching the entire video. I've got to take this last moment here to give a huge thanks to everyone who became a Twitch sub or a YouTube member, and extra special thanks to those who have taken above and beyond and became an Unlock Plus Plus member on YouTube. We've got the 2x Trader Purple. We've got the most OP Gobblegum ever, Round Robin. We have the hero Arrow Pharaoh, and then we've got the absolute legend Peyton Perkins. Once again, got to get a huge thanks to all of them for becoming Unlock Plus Plus members here on YouTube.